Welcome to my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala. Today we are doing chapter Chemical Reaction and Equation. That is the chapter number 1 for 10th Cbse. So this chapter is very interesting chapter. So in last grade, that is 9th grade, you have learned about what are chemicals. Okay. You have also gone through what are elements. Now you are able to write all the elements, all the compounds very properly. So before we start, let's see what are the things in our day-to-day life we see around us. What happens to the things around us? Let's observe. Let's make some observations. So what happens when a milk is left at a room temperature during summer? Okay, what happens when it is left? You know that we keep milk in a refrigerator usually, right? Okay, what is the reason why we keep the milk in the refrigerator? What will happen if we keep the refrigerator, if we keep the milk outside the refrigerator? Okay, at the room temperature, you know that the milk will, it will change its what, it will change its composition, right? Okay, है ना? So the milk will change its composition. Okay, so what will happen when an iron nail is left exposed to humid atmosphere for a long time? ठीक है, suppose we have got an iron nail, and that iron nail, if we keep it in a humid condition, you know that in humid condition we have got air and water, right? So you'll observe that after some time you will see that there will be some corrosion, right? Okay, on the nail. So what is happening is that some changes is happening on the nail. Now what happens when we cook food, right? We cook food, that's right, है ना? So when we take rice, okay, we take rice grain and we boil it, right? Okay, then we get what? Boiled rice, right? If you see, the state has changed, okay, of rice, the food that we eat. Okay, what happens to the food when we eat the food? It goes into the digestive system, right? Okay, and there we have got acid. Okay, right, the food get digested through it, है ना? Okay, so what has happened? A chemical change happens. What happens when we respire? Right? In the respiration process, we know that oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is given out. And that oxygen reaches the cell. Every cell in our body, that oxygen reaches. Okay, and you know that there we get the energy currency called as ATP. Okay, so changes are occurring. So means there are the chemical changes which are occurring. The nature and identity of the initial substance have somewhat changed. That you'll agree, saying all the above examples. Whenever a chemical change occurs, we can say that a chemical reaction has taken place. Okay, so a chemical reaction takes place whenever this changes happens. Let's see more examples out of this. For this, let's do one activity. Okay, the activity is nothing but a very simple activity has to be done in chemistry laboratory. First of all, for safety, what we need a suitable eye glasses. Okay, so that a precautionary measure we need to take. Now, what we need to do, we need to clean a magnesium ribbon. Okay, if you see this magnesium ribbon, you need to take, it is a strip. What we need to do, you need to take a magnesium ribbon, and that ribbon you need to clean it, right? Okay, clean it with sandpaper, right? You need to take the magnesium ribbon, clean the magnesium ribbon with sandpaper. Okay, so that whatever dust particles, okay, or whatever layer of magnesium oxide is there above, right, which will go off, and the magnesium will be available for us for the reaction. Now what we need to do, you need to hold it with a pair of tongs. Hold it like this with a pair of tongs. Burn it using a spirit lamp or a burner, right? And you need to collect the ash, okay? Right, collect the ash like this in a watch glass. Here I have placed a watch glass, collect it. Burn the magnesium ribbon, keeping it away from your eyes, right? Okay, so take that precaution. Record your observations. Now let's see what observations you have recorded. Magnesium ribbon burns with a dazzling white flame and changes into a white powder. See here, a white powder you'll observe here. So this powder is my magnesium oxide. This is my magnesium oxide powder. And what happens is that there is a reaction between magnesium and oxygen present in air, right? So you'll see that we have taken magnesium ribbon and we have reacted, we have burned in air. In air, burning means what? It reacted with oxygen. So oxygen it has reacted, and the resultant we got it as magnesium oxide, right? So this reactions happen. Magnesium reacts with oxygen to get magnesium oxide. Okay. So what we see here is that we see that magnesium has burned and it has changed its state. Okay. Now let's see some more example. Let's take lead nitrate solution in a test tube. What we need to do, add potassium iodide to this, right? Lead nitrate you have taken and you have taken potassium iodide. What is the observation? When you add potassium iodide solution to lead nitrate in a test tube, you observe a yellow precipitate of lead iodide. Here you see a yellow precipitate of lead iodide is observed. Means what? We have observed a change in color. Alright, a change in color is being observed, okay, in this reaction. Let us take some more reactions. Let's take a reaction, okay, in which what we need to do, you need to take a conical flask you have taken, okay. In the conical flask, what you need to do, when you add a dilute hydrochloric acid or a sulfuric acid to zinc granules in a conical flask or a test tube, you'll observe the following things. So here I have taken a conical flask, right? And what I have done, I have taken hydrochloric acid into this, right? I have taken zinc granules are there, and I have added hydrochloric acid to this. If you see here, I have put a cork and there is a glass tube, okay, in this, right? Then what I see here is that the zinc metal is converted to zinc chloride. Zinc metal, you'll see that zinc is there, is converted to zinc chloride, and hydrogen gas is released in the form of small colorless odorless bubbles, right? Okay, so hydrogen gas is released, and if I touch this flask from outside, what I see is that the temperature of the conical flask has increased, right? Okay, before the reaction it was a normal temperature. After the reaction, what I've seen is that the temperature has increased. What it suggests us? It suggests us that the reaction is exothermic. Okay, so the reaction is exothermic reaction which has taken place, right? And but natural, as the zinc granules are getting reacted, what will happen is that their size is going to reduce. Okay, the size gets reduce. So let's see what we have observed from all these activities. So we can say that any of the observations in the activities help us to determine whether a chemical reaction has taken place. How we determine the chemical reaction has taken place? If there is a change in state, right? If there is a change in color, if there is some gas has evolved, or there is a change in temperature, right? So all these factors suggest us that there is a chemical change which has occurred. So we'll be continuing with this. So keep watching Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala. Kindly like, share and subscribe my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala.